Debbie Kilroy's life behind bars began at just 13 years old.
I was that child that was locked up at a children's prison for truanting school.
Trauma and criminalisation hung over her formative years.
In and out of children's prisons till I was 17, and then in the adult system. And you finish your parole too.
50 years on, Debbie now heads Sisters Inside, an organisation focused on freeing women from incarceration.
I want you to live and be happy.
Women need support in the community, not to be further harmed by being caged.
Women make up the fastest growing prison population in the Northern Territory. Nationally, the number of Aboriginal women behind bars doubling in the last 3 decades.
Maybe be a good role model for my niece.
In Central Australia, the Kunga Stopping Violence program is working with Aboriginal women in jail.
We run a 20-day grief, loss and trauma program for 10 women twice a year in Alice Springs Correctional Centre.
The Territory's prisons are maxed out, reaching record highs last month. Without warning, female prisoners in Alice Springs were moved to Darwin to make space for male inmates. There's no certainty when or if the women will go back.
When we isolate someone away from kin, country and community, there is no mechanism for healing.
Rachel Neary says moving female prisoners away from their children and support network can have wider ramifications, and says careful planning is needed when women are released.
Do they need us to assist them to get a DVO in place if they've experienced violence from their partner and potentially they plan to go back to their partner?
The typical prisoner in the Alice Springs Women's Correctional Facility is an Indigenous mother around 30 years old. She can't speak, read or write English well. She's been abused either as a child or young adult, and the charge that likely landed her in prison involved violence.
It may be that she's acting in self-defence and has been misidentified as the primary perpetrator.
Some experts argue well-intentioned reforms, including a push for proactive policing of family violence and an increased use of domestic violence orders, are working against marginalised women.
Many women don't leave the abusive relationship, but if you don't separate, there's also a constant risk of ongoing use of violence, including defensive use of violence.
Advocates are urging policymakers to invest in alternatives to custody, easing pressure on the prison system and improving outcomes for families and their communities.
So if we're able to help these women at that crisis point, then the community benefits.
A call for rehabilitation where incarceration has failed. Olivana Lathouris, ABC News.